do it.
Okay, so good evening. My name is Juan Carlos Acosta, and my classmate is Olga Restrepo. It's a pleasure for us to be here and be able to share with you some of the answers for these questions. So we're going to begin. So the first question is, what does the holistic research state about the different paradigms or epistemic models and typologies of research that have existed and have been traditionally considered as opposite? So I would like to start by saying that from a holistic uh, research perspective, some concerns have arisen about the appropriateness and the pertinence of some paradigms of epistemic models, because they tend to be reductionist in a sense. So they tend to emphasize some aspects of the research process to detriment of some other aspects. One example is that of the phenomenological model, which focuses on the description of a phenomenon and explores people's experiences, but does not pay too much attention to the verification of the information.
Okay, perfect, Juan Carlos. I agree with you that the emphasize that holistic research do, but it offers to join all these holistic research, to have in mind all the models, because they are important, and the idea is to integrate all the epistemic model in one model that the name is holistic research. Well, about question number 2, how can you explain the principles of holistic research? Well, there are 6 principles. Principle of the unit of the whole, principle of simultaneity and synchronicity, principle of integrity, principle of open possibilities, the principle of complementarity, and the principle of the beginning of becoming. Okay, the idea of this principle is that we need to have in mind that we are doing a research, that everything belongs to a whole. And when we are researching an event, we can't separate from the whole, yes? We need to integrate all the parts, and it's important to remember that everything changed, and the researcher is influenced by different aspects that we need to have in mind in according to do a better research.
Yes, yes, and it is important to mention that this principle, the first principle, which is the principle of the unity of, as a whole, of a whole, states that the universe is it's only one reality, in that everything in it is intrinsically related, right? In a holistic research, this is evident in the methodological process, where there are sequential or simultaneous elements. But it is also important to mention or to understand that sequential does not mean linear, right? And that or an accumulation of element. It is important to mention that that these are like different steps, but they are not linear. So they can occur at the same time, right? But they belong to a whole.
Yes, perfect. Question number 3, what does the holistic research cycle or is spiral means? It means that the human being approach knowledge is in the form of a spiral, where each result reach increasingly advanced degrees of complexity. Okay, the idea is that when you do a research, every time you change the stage, yes, and the knowledge is increased, yes. And but the process of knowledge never ends. You always need to continue doing research and get a new knowledge about that.
Yes, I would say that the holistic research or the holistic research spiral explains how knowledge is acquired by humans. This acquisition occurs in different degrees of complexity, right? So in each cycle or in each turn of the spiral indicates a different objective and therefore a different approach to knowledge. Now, these research objectives are connected and they represent like a sequence in a permanent process for getting this knowledge. For example, a researcher, as a researcher goes up in the spiral, he is going to encounter more profound objectives, and the holistic research cycle suggests that there are 10 different basic categories for objectives, and therefore we have like 10 different types of research for this. And as we go up, the objectives become more profound, and in this way, we can acquire knowledge.
Perfect. About the question number 4, what are some other features of the holistic research? Well, I have different features. The first one is that all types of research are important, and no one is superior to another. They all need each other. That is one feature. Another feature is the possibility of doing research in a transdisciplinary way. A problem is a study from the relationship with the other problem. Another feature is the greater importance of science to other areas of the human and social. And there is no disassociation between research and professional work.
Okay, yes, I also have some additional features for holistic research, and one that caught my attention the most was that a holistic researcher needs to be flexible. If we want to make a holistic research, then we have to be flexible, we have to be creative, and we have to be open to different possibilities. Another one is that in the holistic research model, like transdisciplinary research is possible. A phenomenon can be researched through different disciplines in the field because they all belong to one phenomenon, belong to one reality, and different disciplines can help us to get knowledge from that phenomenon. Also, through this model, there is like a vast classification of types of research. Like a lot of types of research has been classified, and here we can see that there are like 10 total, and they are as equal important, right? There is no one that is more important than the other ones. And finally, I would like to mention that a holistic research or a holistic researcher needs to understand the different contributions made by all the epistemic models, as well as all the techniques and all the methods. So this researcher needs to know not only about one type of research, because he will have to explore all of these in order to have a better idea of what he or she is researching about.
Okay, next question is which of the new concepts or ideas related to this approach didn't you understand? Well, in my personal opinion, I am a little confused because you need to involve all the epistemic models in one model. And I don't know, I feel that I know that it's not a recipe, but For me, it's a little confused the step that I need to follow in order to do an holistic research.
Okay. So a question that I have is more concerned about one of the principles. So there is one principle that it's called that has like two little concepts that I didn't really understand, which is the gnosiological stigma, no, syntagma, sorry. So that it was a little bit confusing for me, and that was a question I would like to pose.
Okay, it's a good question, yes. Okay, and the last question is, do you consider this approach for research innovative? Why? Of course, it's innovative because it involves all the epistemic model in one integrative model, and I think that is amazing because until the last decades of 20th century, they usually use only one model to do our research, and this one changed the way that we research now, and is something innovative. Is a model very flexible, as you told before, Juan Carlos, and is creative. Yes, right. And I think that is allowed to increase the possibilities to generate new knowledge according with the world that we are in this moment.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. I believe that this approach is innovative because it allows the researcher to break like the shackles that chain him or her to the specific characteristics of a single epistemic model. So in a holistic research, researchers are expected to be creative and have an open mind to different possibilities in their studies. And this approach does not like constrain, let's say, does not constrain a phenomenon into a single discipline. And that is also very important, and that's why I consider this is very innovative. But on the contrary, it states that a problem can be researched from different perspectives of different disciplines because the problem is part of the whole. So I believe that it is innovative. It goes beyond what one model can do, and there are different like features that I really liked, and I consider that it will be a good idea or a great experience for us to get involved in this kind of research.
Well, that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching this video, Tutor.
Thank you very much.